You gonna come with me, Ben? So today has been doing all sorts of projects in the garden, catching up from the rainy weather. And today is planting potatoes in grow bags. Let me show you where I'm setting them up this year. Still have a few more to set up. I think I have about 10 more. I honestly can't believe I have this many grow bags. What happened is last year we had to get the fence up because the rabbits and the deer eat everything. So I ended up with all my cool weather crops needing somewhere to go. And so grow bags are super inexpensive and they really, really work. So I ended up getting a bunch of different sizes and they just save really well. They store, you can stuff them into each other and then store them. So these bigger ones are gonna have potatoes. The ones over here on this end are actually specifically made for potatoes, but I didn't love them, but I'm using them because I have them. So this will be potatoes till here, and then a break, probably for peppers if I can promise myself, or if the internet can promise me that deer and rabbits don't eat peppers, but if they do eat peppers, then these will be something else. And then more potato, and then potato. Basically what I did last year is there was this strip that I wanted to turn into a garden bed, and so I put all of the grow bags with potatoes on that strip. It killed the grass. Then I laid down cardboard and then put compost on top of it, and it's some of the best soil we have. So I thought, why don't I go ahead and do that this year along the fence, because we want to grow berries. We have 3 berry bushes already planted. We want to grow berries. So I moved all my bags. Everything has a little bit of dirt in it to start weighing it down. And then I realized that I have a problem with some of the potatoes, is that they started growing through the bags. So I am going to have to, not only through one bag, but one grouping of them then group through this bag. So I guess I'm just gonna have to kind of tear the bags open and do my best to get these potatoes out. I've never actually seen anything quite like it. These were in a drawer. Well, obviously lesson learned on this. I don't really know how this is gonna translate, so I put a few more in than I normally might. I guess we'll just see, you know? I don't think it's gonna be horrible. They are so funny looking, aren't they? And then I'm gonna try to get this bag apart. And there it is, the big, massive alien potatoes. And then you just put it, I fill up the bags not quite halfway, maybe a third. And then I put, and that's just like random native soil and compost. And then I put them in, the eyes up or whatever you've got going on here, facing up. And then I will cover that. And then the bags at that point are usually about half full maybe. And then as things start to come up, I will just continue to add soil into the bag as it grows up. So right now I'm just gonna add soil to cover everything that's in here. And then eventually I'll be putting in, it doesn't have to be soil that I add in, it can be straw, it could be leaves. They just have to stay covered and dark so they don't turn green. Here are the berries that we're hoping will spread. We only got one of everything, so we're hoping it takes off and spreads, and basically that next year, instead of these grow bags, we'll have berries growing all along this area. Another one here, and a loganberry down there. Okay, I caught this next bag before it got too bad. I should be able to cut this right out without any problems. So when the potatoes do this, it's called chitting. And you want them to do this because it accelerates the growth process before you put them into the bags, but you certainly don't have to. I have just put potatoes that look like a perfectly good potato, no chitting whatsoever, into bags, and they grow just fine. I have also put, here's the best potatoes I ever grew. I made mashed potatoes and I peeled the potato skins off. they went into the compost right around planting time. I notice that there's something growing in the compost and it looks a whole lot like potatoes. So I'm like, what the heck? Let me dig this up and see what it is. I dig it up and sure enough, it's a potato skin just for my mashed potatoes. I put it into the potager garden, just the raised beds, and they grew the biggest, most beautiful potatoes I have ever seen. They were potatoes that we had gotten from the farmer's market from Vermont, actually, Northeast Kingdom, Vermont. They're friends with the farmers who have the farm here, and we get their potatoes, and it was amazing. So that's how simple it is to grow potatoes. So I will be putting in these bigger bags. I might be putting 6 or so of these. And again, I'm just sticking them like this, the eye up, and giving them a pretty good amount of space. I could, if I wanted to, just put 1 potato in here. And sometimes you actually do better doing it that way. I feel like I have so many seed potatoes, I'm just gonna go for it and kind of put a lot in there because I know these grow small, but the bigger potatoes, I'm only gonna put, maybe 2 pieces per really large grow bag. If I was using one of these smaller grow bags for the bigger size potatoes, I would only put 1 piece of a potato, 1 eye in there and let it just fill up the bag from that. So sometimes if you put too many in, they crowd each other out and then you get really small potatoes. But in this case, I'm not terribly worried about it. Pretty cool, huh? So these potatoes have been sitting and chitting for a while, for a few weeks now. And that means that they're just sitting kind of in the sunlight, trying to get these eyes to start growing. So what I did is I cut any place on the potato that had a very distinct eye. And now I'm gonna let this seal over, at least for a day. And I'll let these seal over. And I've basically doubled my seed potatoes. Now I could probably do it again on these and make a second cut. I just didn't see any very distinct eyes at that point. But so then I could triple my seed potato supply. All right, potato day is complete. Well, potato day part 1 is complete. There's more potatoes to be planted, more dirt to source from our yard and figure out what we're filling in those bags, but I hope this was at all helpful. As always, thank you for being here. I appreciate you.